Guten Tag, Deutschland. It is a profound privilege to be asked by your Defence Minister to deliver a message to you on this sacred Veterans Day. My last visit to your remarkable country was to Düsseldorf 2 years ago for the Invictus Games, and it remains etched in my memory. The warmth, the enthusiasm, and the unwavering support shown by the German people for our global community of wounded service personnel was truly humbling. You certainly delivered on your promise to create a home for respect. That spirit of camaraderie, forged on the sports field, mirrors the unbreakable bond that connects veterans of all nations. We understand each other, regardless of flag or uniform, bound by shared experiences and an enduring commitment to service. Veterans are more than warriors. They are leaders. Living testaments to resilience and moral courage, they understand that loyalty must never lie with power alone, but with the people and with truth. As someone who has worn the uniform and stood shoulder to shoulder with brothers and sisters in arms from across the world, including many of you, I know that the weight of service is not carried lightly. We serve not to glorify war, but to protect peace. Not to follow a single voice, but to uphold a collective oath. To country, to people, and to the principles that bind us together as free nations. Germany has shown the world how memory, accountability, and unity can be turned into strength. In these turbulent times, your role in safeguarding peace and stability in Europe has never been more critical. To the brave men and women of the Bundeswehr, a heartfelt thank you for your steadfast service to your country, to your people, and to one another. Today is also a celebration of you, the values you stand for, the oath you took, and the great country you stand to protect. Today, let us renew our commitment, together, to protect the freedoms that define who we are, to serve each other for peace, for dignity, and for the enduring promise of democracy. Vielen Dank und einen schönen Tag.
Wow, 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 that is Prince Harry, our Duke of Sussex. Did you feel it? No, not the Buckingham Palace press release, not the staged wave from a balcony, not some robotic royal appearance where pearls are clutched, medals are polished, and everything smells faintly of mothballs and monarchy. I'm talking about that moment, the real one, when Prince Harry walked onto a German stage, unguarded, unscripted, and undeniable, and owned it. Not with a title, not with a crown, but with authenticity. That wasn't royalty. That was leadership. The kind that doesn't need to shout or shine, it resonates. That was a man who knows what it means to bleed, to break, to rise, and to serve. Not for applause, not for status, but because it's right. Harry didn't arrive to take the spotlight. He became the spotlight, because real leadership is magnetic. And Germany? They didn't mistake a photo op for substance. They handed him their mic on their first ever National Veterans Day because they recognized what Britain is too bitter to admit. Prince Harry is the leader the world respects. And now the contrast becomes painfully clear. Let's talk about Charles, king by default, monarch by birthright. 70 years waiting in the wings, only to ascend to a throne built on cobwebs and ceremonial clutter. He clutches traditions like a life raft, but in reality, he's drifting, irrelevant, detached. There when the cameras flash, but gone when real voices call for action. And then there's William, the heir, the rehearsed prince with the stiff smile, reading statements like a substitute teacher forced to read Shakespeare. A man paraded as a future king, but one who has yet to prove he can lead anything beyond palace optics. Now stack that against Harry. Harry, who doesn't wait for royal approval to act, who doesn't hide behind press secretaries or palace PR, who walks into rooms not expecting deference but bringing empathy. He doesn't need a golden chair to be heard. His truth echoes louder than any royal trumpet. And when Harry said, "We don't serve to glorify war, but to protect peace," that line split the air like thunder. That wasn't a speech. It was a moral gut punch. It was a message. And unlike the word salad we've grown used to from the firm, Harry's words meant something. Because he's lived it. This isn't a man polishing his father's legacy, he's building his own. And the truth? Buckingham Palace may hold the crown, but the global spotlight follows Harry. Let's zoom in. Germany didn't want pomp. They didn't want protocol. They wanted a man who understands service, not the kind you mime at ceremonial events, but the kind you carry in your bones, the kind that leaves scars, the kind that makes you different, stronger, deeper. That's why they chose Harry, because he's not just a royal, he's a veteran, a leader, a builder. Meanwhile, what's the UK media doing? Foaming at the mouth over Meghan's dress, theorizing about Harry's hairline like it's breaking news. They're too busy scandalizing the Sussexes to realize they're torching what little credibility the monarchy has left. While British tabloids manufacture drama, the rest of the world is honoring Prince Harry. In the United States, he's respected. In Europe, he's admired. In the Netherlands, he's celebrated. Why? Because they're done with fake. They're done with the sterile rituals and plastic smiles. They want humanity. And Harry delivers. Now let's talk Invictus. You want to see real legacy? Real impact? Look at Invictus. It's not a photo op. It's not some charity invented to fluff up a royal CV. It's a movement. It's a lifeline to veterans who thought they'd been forgotten. It's proof that Harry doesn't need royal status to uplift lives. He needs purpose. And he's overflowing with it. Did he ask permission from the crown to launch Invictus? No, because real leaders don't wait for ceremonial nods, they act. And that's the rift. That's the earthquake under the palace. Charles and William react. Harry leads. Charles has tea with dignitaries. Harry dines with wounded warriors. William walks red carpets. Harry walks battlefields. And still the palace pretends like Harry is the problem? Please. They could learn more from 1 hour of his authenticity than from a century of their pageantry. So while Charles clutches pearls and babbles about slimmed-down monarchy, the country is choking on austerity. He's off trimming rose bushes while public workers strike for basic rights. And William? He's all curated Instagram posts, tight suits, and media manipulation. A prince designed by committee. A man terrified of his own shadow unless it's approved by a Kensington Palace comms team. Let's call it like it is. They wear the crowns, but they've got no credibility. Harry wears pain and principles. He wears the cost of service, and somehow, that's become more powerful than any royal robe. While the firm scrambles to stay relevant with balcony moments and parade routes, Harry's outside, connecting with the people who actually matter. Veterans, nurses, refugees, fighters, survivors. He's not worried about tradition, he's worried about transformation. Charles and William are stuck maintaining a broken past. Harry, he's out there building what's next. He's shaping leadership that doesn't need a palace or a throne, leadership that shows up in boots, not brooches. That stands for something even when it's unpopular. That dares to be different even when it costs him everything. And don't think for a second the world isn't noticing. While the British media foams at the mouth screaming traitor, international audiences are saying finally. Finally, a royal who doesn't need to be worshipped. Finally, someone real, someone flawed, someone who gets it. And that's the dagger. Because while Charles and William, script their future around status and bloodlines, Harry's carving his legacy in the hearts of real people. He's not just the spare, he's the standard. He's not royalty in exile, he's royalty evolved. And here's the kicker. Every time the institution tries to silence him, it only amplifies his message. Every smear attempt backfires. Every tabloid hit job just makes more people around the globe ask, why is the palace so afraid of one man with a mic and a mission? Because truth exposes power that's gone stale. Harry doesn't have a crown, but he has something far more dangerous to an institution obsessed with control authenticity. And that changes everything. So keep speaking, Harry. Keep showing up when it matters. Keep leading from the ground, not the gold. Because honestly, the world doesn't need more polished royals. What it really needs is more raw truth. And, that's what you bring. You've already left the palace behind, and it turns out the world followed you. The firm may own the throne, but you, Prince Harry, you own the future. And the applause? Well, it's only getting louder.